So by now, we've all heard of the passing of Hollywood Hulk Hogan at the age of 71 due to cardiac arrest. And everybody's talking about his career, but they're also talking about all of the negative things he's done as well. Which brings me to my point of this video. I want to talk about how important it is to maintain your reputation and to maintain your legacy. Because no matter how good you made people feel, no matter how much you revolutionized anything, people are going to judge you for everything you've done. And so it's important for your family and it's important for your kids, especially, to not only leave them your assets and your money, but also leave them with a good reputation to stand on. All right. No matter how you feel about Hulk Hogan, he's definitely accomplished a lot and he's revolutionized a lot of the things that we all enjoy today. But that doesn't take away the fact that he's also upsetted a lot of people, and those people have a right to be upset. The difference between today's time and yesterday's time is that before, when somebody passed away, it was sacred. No matter how you felt about that person, you would say that amongst your friends, amongst people that felt the same way, but you made sure not to be too loud about it so that the others could mourn. The people that actually loved that person could mourn in peace. But in today's time, that's out the window. All right. Culturally, we have accepted the fact that even in passing, as a matter of fact, especially in passing, the people that you have done wrong will speak up and remind everybody why you weren't a great person. OK, now, that's not necessarily what I'm saying on Hulk Hogan. I myself, I'll give him the respect or whatever. So I'm not going to attack what he did or highlight too much of what he did, but I'm sure, especially if you look like me, you know exactly what he did and why. It's like, and this is personally, this is what happened with me specifically. I seen the post, and you see I posted it in my community section. I seen the post and I was like, oh wow, Hulk Hogan passed. And then literally I stopped and I said to myself, wait, am I not supposed to like him? Like, I forgot about the actual tragedy, but I remember subconsciously my brain was telling me, no, wasn't he involved in some like race? Like, wasn't he involved in some crazy scandal, like calling people the ER or something? Like, actually, my brain didn't even go that far. To be honest with you, my brain really just went, wait, there's something about him that I didn't like that he did. Literally, not even remembering exactly what it was. All right. So my initial reaction was like, oh, wow. But then it followed up with the emotion that he made me feel when he was here on Earth. Now, you know, prior to the scandal, especially the one with, you know, when he was talking to his daughter, you know, saying he doesn't want her to date a black man and calling the ER and all of that stuff. Prior to that, you know, we grew up on that man. You know what I mean? He ripped his shirt off. You 7 years old. Your mother's chasing behind you, asking you why you ripping all your shirts, because you over here thinking you Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Like he would have been a real deal Holyfield legend. I mean, he technically still is, but not to everybody. And so it's like people are going to find things to not like about you. All right. People are going to find things. Nobody is perfect. OK, even somebody that's perfect, somebody will not like them just because they are perfect. You understand? But the point is to not give these people any more ammunition than they're already gonna find. That's the whole point of this video. All right. Your reputation and your legacy is something, especially if you have people that you leave behind. If you have anybody that loves you, anybody that cares about you. Actually, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, wow. OK, I got a story. I know somebody who was best friends with somebody who got aired out, gone. Like, they gave him a bunch of shots to his body and his head and just left him. And the reason why they did that was because apparently he snitched on some people in the hood. He claimed a gang and he turned on that gang and snitched. And so that's why they took him out. And now the best friend of that person, who's actually from the same area, he doesn't really gangbang or nothing like that, but all of his friends now, like, it's harder for them to mourn in peace. You understand? Because it's like, wow, this person's reputation was so, you know, whatever. This is like back in the day, you know how it is. You're younger, you don't know what's going on. But like now it's like your reputation is so hindered where it's just like it's hard for people to even mourn you in peace now. You know, you gotta kind of you know, move away from all of that. You know, you gotta be able to recognize when you're going a little bit too overboard. All right. You know, you might have a drunken night. You might call somebody a B word. You might fight. You might do something. But there's certain things that are extra taboo within the culture to where if you do that, if you cross that line, then that's going to stick with you even past death in the afterlife. In the afterlife, you're going to go through 2 judgment days. All right, you're going to go through the judgment day, the one that really matters, the one that's like, we're going to weigh it out and figure it out. If you believe in that stuff, you know what I mean? Like this is just hypothetical. But like, anyways, then you're going to go through the judgment day here on this plane right here on earth. You understand? People are gonna examine your entire history and they're gonna be bold and direct about it. All right, it won't matter too much for you because you're gone, but the people you left behind, that's gonna crush them. That can either crush them or uplift them to points that they've never seen before. You want to be able for your son and your daughter to be able to get a job just off of your name alone when you're gone. That's what you should be striving for. All right. Now, I'm sure, you know, Hollywood Hulk Hogan has done that or whatever. But like, you know, even if it's not a job, like you want people to say, oh, my gosh, you're his son or like you're his daughter. Oh, come on in. Oh, you know what I mean? Like, you know, whatever. Like, let's chop it up. Let's have a meeting of the minds. That's what you're looking for in life. You understand? And unfortunately, when it came to him, and this is like, you know, all right, if I'm going to be real with y'all, it's like, yo, I actually used to like him back in the day. And really, I forgot about everything that happened. So it's like, damn, when you think about everything that happens, it's like, you know what I mean? It just makes you feel like, you know, I mean, nobody's perfect, but there's certain things when you're a public figure, he should have kept that indoors because now I can't even really like remember him the way that I really want to remember him. You understand? Now it's kind of like tainted or whatever, you know. It does take away from the great things he's done. As a matter of fact, it does take away because people really remember the last thing you've done for them and the last thing you did, you know. So like it was up until like, you know, Hulk Hogan was flipping off of top ropes years ago. I was a kid. I don't even remember that. You know what I mean? But I do remember when some lady talking about he was, you know, making, you know, insensitive racial comments. I do remember the cell phone audio, leaked audio. I do remember, you know, all of this crazy stuff, you know, that's going on, leaked tapes or whatever. So it's just like, you know, when you think about your legacy, it's like, what do you want people to talk about? What is the first thing you want people to come to mind? Your philanthropy, your great business skills, your family, your character, or do you want scandal after scandal after scandal to come to mind? You know? So anyways, man, I'm sure you picking up what I'm putting down. You know the vibes. Listen, if you've watched this whole video up until now, you might as well like the video. You could like it and you could subscribe to the channel. It'd be greatly appreciated. But if you don't, it doesn't even matter because I appreciate your viewership regardless. I'm out of here, man. Breathe easy.